Hi, beautiful family. This is JD from the Sacred Women Collective and Simi Sutton. She is also from the Sacred Women Collective and the Cosmic Bodies. Beautiful business expression that she has in the world. So, we are here to provide support and information to help us get through the next 2 weeks of this amazing energy that the full moon is providing for us. One of the most powerful things that I've ever done is learning how to realign my life through the cycles of nature, of the moon, of working with the elements, of earth and fire and water and air and really an ether, of course, ether, and bringing ourselves really into alignment. And I love that we can look at the astrological weather and the cosmic patterns that are happening to see how supported we are in life. And when we become aware of what is showing up, because it's not all rainbows either. When we become aware of what's showing up, we then are really prepared to face life from a place of awareness. So we're not just going through in unconscious blindedness. So that's what we're here to do, to shine a light of awareness on the cosmic weather. And I'm here. I've done a beautiful reading with my Medicine Woman deck. So, yeah, we've got some amazing, beautiful medicine to share with you. So this is beautiful Simi. She's located at the moment in the Northern Beaches of Australia, in Sydney. And I'm Jade. I'm at the moment located in Vancouver, Canada. And we are the Sacred Women Collective. So, Simi, do you want to would you like to pop up the chart for us? And we'll start with the astro goodness that's happening.
I would, darling. We'll bring it up. So it's a full moon, in Australia here, where I am this morning. Just bringing it up. Beg your pardon, it's at 5 o'clock this evening.
Look at that amazing chart.
We're in the hours leading up to this full moon.
Mm-hmm.
And the hours leading up are quite significant because of the nature of this moon. So as you can see you see my screen?
Yeah, it's awesome to see the chart.
Yeah, is it big enough? I can make it.
Yeah, it's great. It's perfect.
Okay, cool. So the hours leading up are significant because of the nature of the moon. So the moon is here opposite the sun. That makes it a full moon. So the sun's in Virgo and the moon is in Pisces. And it's a very Piscean, Neptunian full moon, making the hours before it quite dreamy. And I love how you mentioned ether before, JD, because there is earth, fire, wind and water with astrology. As you know, it's the science of the 4 elements and the science of the stars. And one of my favourite astrologers, Carpaccia, says that Pisces, which is where our moon is, and Neptune is right now, and Chiron, is ether. It's not water, it's ether. Cancer and Scorpio are water, cardinal and fixed water, but Pisces, it's like the oneness with all that is. And so it makes it very, we're very receptive in these hours before this full moon culminates. And it's just a beautiful time after the eclipse. The eclipse was quite a powerful experience, I think, for a lot of people. and really calling us into that lion's heart. And, you know, as we talked about before, the degree of that eclipse was the mermaid degree that, if you've read our writings, we talked about the mermaid. A mermaid climbs to a rocky shore of a bleak coast, awaiting the prince that will bring her immortality. So it really speaks of this underwater being who's been in this age of Pisces, in this underwater, and she's come to the air element, the age of Aquarius, with all of her gifts and her knowledge. And she's awaiting the prince that will bring her immortality. And I think this can be the mindfulness to have here is to not put too much expectation on our partners. You know, expecting a prince that will come and bring immortality, but more about the mermaid learning how to be and how to walk her talk and bring the gifts that she's gleaned from this underwater realm in new age. So how we can walk forward in this new age. I thought that was quite lovely for my mind to connect the underwater mermaid archetype into coming to the air of the age of Aquarius, because we're really in that now. The next few years, we're really in that transition time, and it can feel a little, I think, confusing and a little like trying to find our place from, you know, being our individual selves within the collective, and really coming together to share our gifts and be held in them, and not, you know, every man for himself patriarchal mindset that we've had, but more of this, you know, laying down our swords, and I'll explain that in a moment, and learning from where we've been so that we can walk into a more fully embodied in our higher mind, and in our, like, embodying our higher minds actually is kind of the message here of, and I talked about that sword because that's the degree of Neptune. So as you know, or maybe don't, I love to look at the Sabian symbols when I'm looking at a chart for more information. The Sabian symbols are, this is the book that I refer to.
Bring it a little closer, love.
Okay, I can't see myself, so I'm just guessing. Can you see that?
Down a little. Go down. Yeah, okay. Perfect.
Okay, cool. So these symbols are by Linda Hill. This book is by Linda Hill. She rewrote the book, bless her. I love her interpretations. I find them really easy to wrap my beingness around. But they were symbols that were interpreted by a clairvoyant medium called Elsie Wheeler in the 1920s, and she interpreted a symbol for the 360 degrees of the whole zodiac. So
wow.
Amazing, and just gives you this kind of right-brained way of receiving an astrological chart, which I'm all about. I feel like astrology has been a little inaccessible in the past, and that's changed dramatically for me in recent times. So I love to share these interpretations, because I feel like it really gives you that embodied sense of what's going on. So the degree of Neptune is Pisces 13, because we go the degree R, and it's a sword used in many battles, is now in a museum. So what I wanted to talk about is, I think my daughter's going to come in, is laying down the sword, like really this Neptune energy, and we were just talking about it. There's, you know, two octaves of love. There's divine love for all that is, which is Neptune, and then there's personal love between humans, things, animals, which is Venus. It's more personal love and your values and it's more earthly love, whereas Neptune is divine love. So this moon is very strongly influenced by Neptune. And being on that degree is, it's very much about moving into our sense of love for ourselves and our place in the world.
That's so beautiful, babe. I feel to share a little bit from the reading that I did now, because it's really fitting. So right in the center of this reading, we have the star card, which in my Medicine Woman deck, it's the grandfathers, and it's ruled by Aquarius. So I feel like right in the center of this energy, because I opened up like the medicine wheel. How I do my readings is I work with the 4 directions, and I always ask for some cards in the center to represent the overall feel and the dynamic of what we're anchoring in. So this amazing Aquarian age that we've come into is so powerful, because we really are moving into the higher octaves of the heart. And as we do that, it is literally like this old sword, you know, the sword of the Piscean age of, you know, survival and striving. And we've all got really, you know, a lot of us have still got some pain body around that energy of survival, and, you know, how hard we've had to work. And, you know, there's a lot of people on the planet who are really burnt out right now. Hi, Mimi. Hi, darling. There's a lot of people on the planet who are burnt out, and diseases manifested, and there's been a lot of pain from the way that things have been in an inaccessible I, me, and I'm doing it on my own. I have to strive to survive. How am I going to pay the bills? How am I going to get ahead? You know, this whole feeling and the ego aspect of, and when I say ego, it's not that ego is a bad thing, because when ego is in its highest octave, it helps us to bring our gifts forward in the world. You know, it helps us to have the courage to get in front of people. Like right now, my ego is helping me, because the person inside is like, oh, always been really timid. But as we lay this sword, as we take the sword of survival, as we take the sword of doing it on our own, the sword of, you know, the wounding from the patriarchy and the matriarchy is in that age of Pisces, right? So when we take that and we put it up and we allow the lessons to come, that's the foundation of this energy that we're moving into. So let's not forget that the purpose of us coming here to talk and share is to anchor in for our collective, and for anybody who sees and reads this, a way of being for the next cycle until we reach our new moon, when we'll come and do another one, so that we can be practically supported. And sitting next to the star card, the grandfather's card. And by the way, before I go any further, I just really want to honor the grandfathers and the grandmothers who have gone before us, and to anchor into the wisdom of our star family, who are constantly always there, shining the light on this new way of being. So here we also have the High Priestess, and she's sitting next to the age of Aquarius. And in this deck, she is the seeker. And this is the energy of the moon, you know, the High Priestess of the moon, the feminine aspect. And she's looking at herself. She's sitting and she's remembering who she is. And this is really symbolic because this whole eclipse energy has really been about remembering who we are. It has been coming into a new way of being. And for a lot of us, it's been really challenging, and it's taken a lot of deep work to go into the underworld with that mermaidian energy of being in the waters and letting it all churn up. But to come to this place where we are literally stepping up and onto the land. So, yeah, Mercury's been retrograde and bringing us back into a reflection of, you know, really sitting there looking at that mirror like she is here. I don't know if you can see. Can you see that? She's looking in the mirror, and that's what we've been doing, you know. We've been in this deep reflection of looking into the mirror and seeing the ways that the patterns of behavior that are not working for us anymore, that are tripping us up and holding us back from fully stepping into the collective energy of the age of Aquarius, which is what the Sacred Women Collective is all about. You know, this is about us moving as a collective, as a beautiful support system for each other to shine, you know, for us all to come into really looking into that mirror and saying, wow, I see myself. I am a reflection of the divine. I am the divine. And this is my divine expression in the world. So I also ask for a card that could be a block to this overall energy that's happening. And I'm loving having that chart up there, Sim. It's really good. So that's the 9 of Stones, which is actually a really positive card in the deck. Like normally if you get to the 9 of Stones, it's like, yes, I've sown my seed in the soil. This is like the Pentacles energy of the material world and where we're at. So because it's a 9, it's like, you know, you've gone through all those different energies from Ace to 9, and you're starting to see the harvest. So this is a blessing, and because we are starting to see the harvest. The way that it could be a block, though, is in that if we continue to stay focused on survival, because this pressure of survival, the pressure of looking around and going, oh my God, the planet is in, you know, if we start looking, if we tune into that radio channel frequency, you know, it's like looking for the radio stations on your dial, really, on your radio. If you're flicking through the different stations, we can tune into any radio frequency that we like. And that you know, the sword that's getting hung up as we speak, there's been a very big, long karmic pattern of that happening. So that radio station is very predominant. You know, it's easy to tune into that. So this could be the block. But what I'm saying is that the age of Aquarius is here. And the ability to really look into our divine self-reflection and to find alignment with that is available. And the planets are holding that space for us. Mercury has just done this whole retrograde to arrive at the exact place that the eclipse was on right now, to really bring us into this place of taking a deep breath in and choosing our radio station, choosing the way that we're going to integrate. Yeah. Because that's what we're also doing, right? We've still been in the window of the eclipse energy. We've still been integrating all those lessons and gleaning them. Like, you know, it's like the harvest time, you're pulling in all that fruit, all the things that you've learned, allowing it to go deep into the soil. You know, taking it in and nourishing your body and your mind and your soul and your spirit, and then allowing everything else to go back into the cycle of life so that it can be transformed and transmuted and using it to move forward. Yeah. And in that, it's like we're create this space where we're creating a collective sweat lodge. You know, the planets have created a sweat lodge for us, literally. So if you're not aware of what a sweat lodge is a place where our beautiful First Nations people come together and they connect with divine and they celebrate, but they also like use it as a place of going deeply within to purge and let go. And this is what happens in a woman's body every month. When we come to our bleed, we have our own personal sweat lodge. We have this portal of cleansing. So in the direction of the east in this reading is the Four of Pipes, and you can see that the woman and the man here, the brother and sister, are creating this beautiful sweat lodge where they've got the rays of the divine coming in there, and they're like fully coming back into alignment, but they're in preparation. And this is what we're doing. You know, this is what the planets have done for us as well. Our cosmic family. I think of the planets like a family, like they're literally guiding us in our evolution as a collective of beings here, not just on Earth, but everywhere, you know, in every single galaxy. Like we are one. And when one person receives healing, we all do. When one person has a win, we're all winning. When one person remembers that they are divine, we are all remembering. So as this direction of the east and the opening of a new phase comes in, this is that collective energy of building a sacred sanctuary, building a lodge together. And because it's the pipes energy, it's the lodge of inspiration. It's the lodge of like using our beautiful inspired energy, where we are divine masculine and divine feminine merging within ourselves, and allowing that sacred union within to be the birthing place of something new. Yeah. So Simi, I really wanted to also ask about this yod, because that felt really potent.
Yeah, so just when you were talking, JD, I really wanted to just bring a little awareness to this Mercury and Mars conjunction that we've got going on for the rest of the month until around the 25th of September, because it really supports and ties in with that sword energy, you know, the feminine and masculine putting down the sword to stop fighting and escaping each other and actually coming into this sacred union. And I guess I just wanted to bring a little mindfulness to that, because Mercury and Mars being together can bring this kind of a little bit of a fight energy with it in its shadow, because it's communication with Mars aggression, but it could be assertiveness and, you know, the way we communicate. So, you know, again, like what you were saying so beautifully, JD, is, you know, just looking in the mirror and just checking in. Do I need to say that? Is that serving love? You know, what would the divine do in this scenario? And just really bringing that clarity in. And, you know, with Neptune conjoin the moon, it also brings in that tendency to want to escape. So, you know, to be present and clear, we kind of, you know, that requires sobriety, unless, you know, maybe it doesn't, and that's okay too. But just really bringing that mindfulness in of, am I being present? You know, how can I be loving in this situation, and how am I escaping? And, you know, whatever way that is, like I've given up coffee for 4 days just because that's what felt right. So it doesn't have to be, it can be on whatever level, but just to, you know, Neptune can be escapism as well as divine love.
Yeah.
So really having that awareness. But yeah, that yod, so there's a yod, which is in astrology is a finger of God. It's when there's two quincunx points pointing to, see the green lines, pointing to this south node in Aquarius. So whilst we're moving into the age of Aquarius, the south node of the moon is in Aquarius and the north node of the moon is in Leo. So whilst this 26,000 year great years cycle is, we're moving into Aquarius, we're kind of there, getting there, we're still looking at where we've maybe isolated ourselves and been off in our own little worlds, doing our own, our own thing. In a way, we're kind of really being called more into this Leo in service as, shining, like not hiding anymore. This is very much like hiding away. It's, like, oh, I'm just going to do my thing and these are my beliefs and, like I really want that new paradigm, but I really don't know what to do and what's my place in it. And we're kind of being pulled out of there and into getting comfortable in our discomfort and, just really doing it anyway. The north node is it's not comfortable. It's what we're learning. It's our dharma. It's not our karma. This is the karma. So, getting comfortable in being seen actually and to play. And that's kind of what we're doing, honey. Like we're like, well, we just want to like share what we're interested in and just play. And it's that kind of thing. So we're really being drawn out of where we've been hiding. Where we've been hiding our I'm just looking at Lilith and it's very hard to describe her, but it's this, she's kind of at the mast of the ship. And so for women and for men too, it's this, where have we been suppressing our wild woman? Where have we been, where's she been getting lost and maybe not heard? Because she wants to be heard now. And I'm reading an incredible book on Lilith, and I think she's been really misunderstood, but she's very powerful. And she's all love. She's not this, and this is controversial what I'm saying, but this is my feeling of her, is that she just wants to claim her space. She's the degree that she's on, and so that's the other aspect that has been playing out, is this Saturn conjoined Lilith. So it's kind of it's the patriarchy versus the matriarchy. And what Lilith is kind of doing through all of us as a collective is bringing some awareness to the lies that we've been told about her.
I have something to share.
Okay.
I really love the way that Tanishka speaks about Lilith, and in the beginning of the feminine journey, and this can be for men as well, because we are all exploring what the sacred feminine really looks like. We are letting her come back. So I really enjoy this story, that in the beginning was not Adam and Eve. In the beginning was Adam and Lilith.
Yeah.
And Lilith was this potent expression of the feminine. She was not at all consistent. She was moving with the cycles of the moon. She was not at all comfortable because she was fierce and protective. She's the mother. She was not at all submissive or succumbing. She had her own voice because she knew. And she was this absolute embodiment of the sacred feminine. But at that point in history, and I'm not saying that this is just something really amazing that helped me to break through and understand the energy of Lilith a little more and understand the parts in me that I had tamed.
Yeah.
So as the story goes, Adam was uncomfortable with Lilith's power. So she basically said, mate, I'm going to go out to the wilderness because this is not really working for me. You remember who you are. So she went out, and in the meantime, this Eve was created. I'll probably get shit for this, but I don't mind. I don't care. So Eve was created out of a place of making atoms in unrealized masculine strength. So it's the unrealized masculine self, that unrealized powerful masculine that feels really, really vulnerable in the presence of Lilith because she's so wild and so fierce. But she's also supremely loving, and this, you know, if you haven't met yourself in that sacred place yet where you really feel that love from the inside, when someone shows you an enormous amount of love, it's really, really, really intimidating. So this is also that aspect of Lilith, like, I just want to love you. I love you with my whole being, you know. So I'm not saying that Eve is anything. I'm just talking about a story here where from the unrealized and the masculine hasn't remembered all that he is. This idea of Eve, the woman who makes it all comfortable for her man, the woman who doesn't fully speak her truth because she's afraid. And this is such a reflection. I don't like using the word patriarchy because I don't want to give it any more power than it has. Like, the patriarchy it's the end of the patriarchy right now. But it's good to be in awareness. So this patriarchal energy that does not want to see women in their full expression, right? But this is only coming from the unrealized masculine, and the realized masculine is here on this planet. There are so many brothers holding space for the realized, powerful masculine who fully knows himself and has no fear and standing before Lilith in all of her love and all of her nurturing and all of her fierceness, where she's just like, no, you cannot fuck up the planet anymore.
Yes.
No, you cannot treat people like this anymore. So as Lilith comes and she's got all this love and she's like right here, she's saying, I'm fully backing up the eclipse energy so that we can remember a new way of being. So some people say that Lilith has returned from the desert, that she returned from the desert a couple of years ago when we started going through this big shifts that we've been going through for a long time, for a while, you know, like really accelerated since 2010 to 2012. So this is when Lilith started fully coming back, like the sacred feminine in all of her powerful expression, coming back to the planet to bring things back into alignment. Yeah.
Beautiful, darling. I have full goosebumps when you were explaining, talking about Lilith. It's so true. You know, it's so, just lovingly embracing that part of us that's been made into, you know, and we're fed it, you know, daily by different forces, you know what I'm talking about.
The media, like, look at the media, is it constantly telling us that we need to look a certain way to be received. And I just want to take this moment to give all beings permission to embrace who we are and the way that we are, the way that we look in the world, the way that we show up, because we don't have to change our physical appearance to be received. We need to come together and love each other.
Exactly.
We need to look into the eyes of the souls before us and love each other. This is the age of Aquarius, man.
This is it, love. Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, like I have a daughter and I'm really passionate about her being, someone posted something the other day and it was like, you want to change the world? Raise a wild woman.
Mm.
And I really believe that, and I just see all the ways in which that, you know, that's manifested for me in my belief systems. And it's like this reawakening's happening, this unfurling of, like, you know, how we embody this and support each other in reflecting that back and really holding that sacred, because that is the sacred feminine.
Ashe, sister. And look, here in the southern corner of the medicine wheel, we have the nurturing lodge of bowls. And everybody's gathering around and nourishing and nurturing each other.
Yeah.
And giving these little ones that are coming through permission to be wild.
Yes.
You know?
And I just want to pop in there, love, that the degree of Lilith is Sagittarius 9, which is a mother leads her small child step by step up the stairs. So, you know, it's like really mothering this part of ourselves and making sure that we're tending to that, to our wildness. And not to discredit Eve. Eve is, you know, she's part of where we've been. And I think, you know, it's in loving that part and also just acknowledging both. But it's time for Lilith in men and women. And I'm really getting that too, so that I'm not too like pro-feminine, but it's pro the feminine in all of us, because that's that bowl energy. It's that nurturing that we're yeah, I love it.
And did we talk about the yod?
We talked about the yod, the South Node in Aquarius.
Yeah, I really feel like to reiterate that we might be really impatient with each other.
Yeah.
With this Mars energy. So I really encourage us all to just take that moment to be fully present, that it's not always necessary to respond. It's not always necessary to be involved in battles. And that's not saying don't hear your truth at all. It's not saying that. Be completely present with yourself, you know, be present with what is coming up for you. But it's not necessary to always speak it, because these, you know, this degrees, that the conjunction with Mercury and Mars is fiery for everybody, and like the yod is really about karma, isn't it? And lots of old patterns.
Looking at the past. And also, you know, the moon being in Pisces, and so it's like it's the moon's in Pisces, Neptune rules Pisces. It's a very Neptunian quality to the moon, and it's very much about what else can I let go of. I was just thinking when you were reading earlier, like what more can we let go of? It's very much about that, you know, what else can I let this go? Can I just go for peace? And that really requires that nurturing of our pillar, and, you know, just taking care, a mother walking her small child step by step up the stairs, just really, you know, tending to that, so that we're not responding, you know, with that Mars and Mercury energy, just like, you know, and keeping the sword's been hung up, and now it's like it's time to come together and look at how we can get true self-reflection and really Yeah, walk gracefully.
Incredible. So then that leads us into this energy of the guide, which is also Virgo, ruled by Virgo. So this is our beautiful sun energy that's guiding us right now in Virgo to fully remember who we are and know that we are our own guidance system. We don't need to be going out into the world constantly to seek the approval or the confirmation that we need. The shadow of this is also the hermit aspect, where it's like what you were talking about before, going inward and being like, oh, I'm just going to work it all out on my own. No, we don't have to do that anymore. So first, connecting deeply with your inner guidance system, listening to the voice in your womb, listening to the voice in your heart, listening to the wisdom that's coming through your beautiful cosmic guidance system as we open up every day and we choose to connect to the star that we came from, to bring that energy down and ground us, to come back into the I am presence, you know, and from that space, remembering that's the whole idea of going into the hermit space, is to discover that you are your own guide. So if you're coming into this place of hermiting from a wounding, that's when we need to move into a place of asking for assistance, asking for guidance, asking for help. You know, and it can be as simple as just sending a friend a message and saying, can you please hold space for me today? I'm really struggling. I'm feeling vulnerable. I appreciate a little extra prayer today. You know, or booking a session with an amazing healer, or, you know, reaching out so that you're not fully in that energy of like, I'm doing this on my own, I'm struggling, I'm surviving. No, we all have this guide, and your guide knows what he or she needs. You know, your guide is constantly there. And this is that energy of Virgo saying, remember that you're the priest and the priestess to your own inner temple. Remember that you hold an ancient and sacred wisdom within yourself. And then completing this journey, in the northern corner, we have the Three of Bowls. So the bowls energy, I'll post a photo as well. Okay. So this bowls energy is really about coming with this sacred container. And we are the sacred container. We're the sacred container of replenishment and nourishment and infinite connection to all that is. And as we open to more and more love in this intimate space within, like we say, like coming to that place of sacred union of the balanced masculine and feminine, we come out of duality. And that's what the Three of Bowls is. Like the minute that we remember that there is no separation, the minute that we remember that we are collectively creating this sacred lodge to come and do ceremony, and that is Earth. She is our sacred lodge. We've all chosen to be here at this point in time to recreate this dream together. So the minute that we remember that we're not in a place of separation, we're not in a place of striving and survival on our own anymore, that we can take that radio frequency and just tune the dial and dial into oneness. We're coming out of that duality, which is the Three of Bowls. It's like we're out of duality. We're in this energy of collective, and we're holding our cup up and we're saying, yes, I remember that I am a divine being and I have all these gifts and I'm coming to share them with the world. that's the beauty of coming into this hermit space that we've been in over the solar eclipse, you know, while we've been really in that deep reflection of holding up that mirror and seeing all the different faces coming back at us. Some of them not so comfortable, but from looking back in that mirror and seeing those and loving every aspect of ourselves, that's the process of stepping out onto the land now. And we're all holding this bowl filled with the gift, you know, of who we are, of our essence and our contribution, so that we can fill it up and pour it out, and fill it up and pour it out. And collectively, our love, the love from our brothers and sisters, as we go into these nurturing lodges, as we come into this space together of allowing and receiving of the collective, you know, that is filling us up. And every time we come to that place of divine and just connect again, because it's constantly that, right? It's constantly like, oh shit, I fell out of alignment with myself. I went over there with my squirrel mind and I got all caught up in story, and here I am over here. But shrink back in, realigning, and then coming forward from that. Yeah.
Oh.
So that feels complete.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else astrologically that you want to share, babe? Oh, the fox fur lady.
Oh, yeah. So that's the degree of the moon, which is Pisces 14, a lady wrapped in fox fur. I love this degree. This is the degree of my Mars. But it's, I think of it it's very intuitive. Like a fox really uses its senses, and I love what you shared before, actually, JD, about the fox being the trickster, and like the fox medicine being the trickster, and to walk with that around you. It's like, you can't fool me, media. You can't fool me, world. You can't fool me, whoever, because I'm divine.
Yeah.
And so it's really about knowing your magneticism, knowing your power, knowing that you can, you know, navigate these waters. It's very empowering, the lady. That's my interpretation. I mean,
beautiful.
I don't know if you have anything to add there.
Well, I just feel like it's a perfect rounding off, because, you know, the mermaid came out of the ocean. She came out of this place of where we've been, and now she's arrived on the land, and she's holding this bowl in her hands, and she's got all these gifts, and she's wrapped in fox fur because she's broken out of the social illusion, and she remembers who she is. She remembers that she's Lilith. She's Lilith.
Yeah.
You know? And Lilith is wrapped in the awareness of just knowing that we're coming out of eons of forgetfulness, and we're remembering who we are.
Who we are.
We're remembering that we're divine. We're remembering that the seed of our soul is ancient and very wise, and that this beautiful planet that we live on has everything that we could ever hope or dream of. So as we hold that space, and especially as sacred women, you know, like we're holding up, and I guess I want to say nobility, that nobility of the Leo energy that is reflecting through this as well, like the nobility of the heart of being a woman who is providing a place in her community where brothers and sisters can come and really sit with the divine essence of the feminine through us. And the same for our brothers, you know, that our brothers are the representatives of the divine masculine, holding space for Lilith to fully come back into her complete expression. And I'm so grateful for the beautiful men that I know that are holding space for that. And there's a lot of men doing this now, you know. So as we come out of this karmic mess that we've been in, as the earth has shifted, she's like completely shifted. We have these new timelines. We don't have to dial into that frequency of the old shit anymore. We can fully dial into the truth of that beautiful sacred masculine, the beautiful sacred feminine, and beyond that we just are in the I am presence, each of us. And we're all playing roles and bringing forward these gifts in the world. And yeah,
walking each other home.
Yeah, so I feel really complete.
Me too.
Thank you, honey. Thank you for this beautiful space. Thank you for your gifts, your interpretations of this beautiful evolutionary astrology. Really blesses my heart. And I just want to take this opportunity to also say that Simi does really amazing healing. She does astrology reports. She can do it for anybody, anywhere in the world through this medium. We're on Zoom right now. And yeah, it's such a gift to get your astrology done so that you know what's happening, you know. Like I said in the beginning, we all have this unique path. I didn't say that in the beginning, but what I said in the beginning was that by being in awareness of the way that we function, you know, the way that our chart's set up, if we know where our Mars is, or if we know where our moon is, you know, we know where our north node and our south node are, we can see where we might be prone to limiting ourselves. And we can see where we can see where to nurture ourselves. Totally. So that we can just continue being awesome, because everybody is awesome. Yeah. And I also do readings, as you may have gathered, and hold circles and online workshops. And Simi and I are preparing for our feminine embodiment temple as well, which will be happening once a year online, but that's not going to happen for a while. So yeah, you can connect with us and request a reading of any sort. And if you're in Vancouver or Sydney, I'm in Vancouver, Simi's in Sydney, and you would like to see us in person, you can do that too. And in the meantime, continue to realign and stay connected and reach out to your brothers and your sisters, and just keep being beautiful, family. So much love. Rock and roll too. It's important.